Thursday, stumbling blocks. Philippians 4, verses 4 to 9. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again. Rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have received or learned or heard from me or seen in me, put into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. One morning during a recent retreat in Pembrokeshire, I decided to go for a walk on the coastal path. It was all going well for about 5 minutes. At that point, though, I looked down and realised how high the cliffs were. Suddenly I was terrified and froze on the spot. Quite quickly I started sweating and shaking with fear. After standing in the same place for around a quarter of an hour, I realised the only way that I could get back to the retreat centre was by getting down on all fours, focusing only on the dusty path in front of me and crawling back the way I came. You can imagine the looks I got from people walking past me. It was only when I got safely back into my room and I was relaxing on my sofa that I looked at some of the photographs that I'd taken in the few minutes before the fear locked in. The photos were stunning, the scenery was beautiful, but I'd separated myself from it all because I was crawling like a dog. This is true of life in general. When we are scared and when we are fearful, we fail to see the beauty and wonder all around us. At the beginning of the recent pandemic, for example, many of us found ourselves caught up in fear as the world went into lockdown. Being a born worrier, I was certainly not immune to this anxiety. Being released from the grip of these fears came for me through spiritual means, the incarnation. God coming to us in Jesus allows us to go beyond fear or anxiety and to see the world differently. Jesus came to see the world through our eyes so we can see the world through his. Through him, we are able to recognise the beauty in the ordinary, the wonder in the everyday. In this sense, the incarnation allows us to witness Christ in everything, even in the lowliest person or the most mundane event. That's the real challenge of being people of faith. To open our eyes to God's presence in our lives, whether in the love of friends and family, the wonder of the countryside, the warmth of a smile, uplifting music or art, or a kind word or gesture. But when we fear things, we fail to see their ultimate worth or their beauty. And it's not merely fear that can become a stumbling block to us recognising Jesus in others. Many other things can get in the way: stress, prejudice, anxiety, to name but a few. The Oscar-nominated film Wonder, filmed in 2017 and based on a 2012 R.J. Palacio novel of the same name, is the story of a 10-year-old boy with Treacher-Collins syndrome who moves to a new school. Augie's condition means he has a facial deformity following 27 different invasive surgeries. It is only when his new schoolmates get to know him and move beyond their prejudice against him that they recognise what a wonder he is and to start to open their eyes to the beauty behind the scars. As his head teacher tells the parents of a pupil who had been bullying him, Augie can't change the way he looks, so maybe we can change the way we see. Opening our eyes to God's presence means noticing and naming our fears and anxieties, and then pushing ourselves beyond them to an awareness and appreciation of his world. Our personal stumbling blocks can stop us truly living in the present moment, and so stop us being alive in its fullest sense. By facing them, we allow beauty and wonder to be birthed in our lives as we recognise the Christ in all. After all, the 3rd century theologian Irenaeus wrote, "The glory of God is a person fully alive." Reflection. Think of a time in your life when something made you anxious or fearful, perhaps as the result of a pandemic or indeed another time entirely. How did you get through this time? Ask God for help with those times when you still feel anxious or worried. Now commit yourself to going beyond any fear or anxiety you might feel in the coming weeks and to look for Jesus' presence in the things you do and the places you go.